Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to a new super compact 1S brushless machine from SPCMaker. As you know, this brand can deliver incredible good machine or real nightmare, a catastrophic machine. So we will see if this one will fall into the right side of the coins, okay, and it's a basic one cellule brushless machine equipped of 0705 brushless motor spinning at 15,000 kV, and there is of course a small IO FPV ring, 48 channel, 25 milliwatts, a basic 1/4 CMOS sensor, okay, and we have some 4-in-1 4 ampere only BLLES D-Shot600 compatible ESC, and well, for the flight controller we have a basic F3, and we will see if there are some special gifts. Anyway, it's a direct competitor, for example, from the new Huachin Aurora A100, okay, more at the same time of equipment. Let's discover this very tiny box. I've got the BNF version, so 3 choices of receiver are proposed. FlySky in D8 mode, FlySky in FHDS2 Air Protocol, or Spectrum DSM2 DSMX. Let's open the BNF version. Okay, here is all the content of the box and already pre-installed some elements. First of all, you will receive the props standalone, and you will just need to push on the 0705 motor. And first bad points: no spare props available in the packaging. As soon as you will crash it, you will be grounded. Okay, so there are some 55 millimeters props, quite standard, with 1 millimeter up section. Okay, so it should be not so hard, for example, to install some Ladybirds 55 millimeters. This one got maybe a little bit more thinner body compared to the Ladybirds, but no real problem to find them compatible. The motors, okay, as you can see, some there were 705 15,000 kV, and they won't work in 2S edition. Whatever the UAC won't allow with only 4 ampere to be run with 2S setup. For example, the A100 from Huachin will be 6 ampere. Maybe there is a small hope it can be run in 2S configuration. So let's continue. Already pre-installed the battery, and here 2 batteries are given, exactly 2 500 mAh, rated 30C for the discharge rate, and you have 2 large ribbon cables, already pre-installed one, and a second in this accessory bag. Okay, so let's discover. We have the 2.4 GHz antenna of the FlySky receiver installed on the rear section, okay, and it's a basic D8 model. And first bad news: no SSI exported on the aux channel for the OSD or via telemetry. That's a drawback, that there is not a compatible firmware. Maybe it can be flashed with some advanced firmware, but absolutely not sure. Whatever, you can find the bind button here, okay, so you will need to keep it pressed and hold it pressed while powering the machine, for example with the LiPo, or even better through a power bank, and the USB micro USB port is much more easier to keep to do this press and hold and USB plug-in simultaneously. We have installed in front this 600 TVL CMOS 1/4 basic IO module. No possibility to tune the lens orientation, is something set to 25-30 degrees. 48 channel, 25 milliwatts, 2 buttons are available. So the rear one is to select the V-frame is short press, and if you long press more than 3 seconds, you will cycle between the 6 supported V-band. On the front, we have the NTSC PAL configuration button. By default, you are in PAL. If I'm not wrong, whatever, it's super easy to press. You will need to long press the front button to switch between PAL and NTSC. So let's discover a little bit the F3 board here, large one, and you can see we have a ribbon cable for connecting the flight controller to the EMU, and the EMU is dampened. So maybe for angle mode at 6-axis stabilized, we won't suffer from any drift. Okay, but at least it's a good point. On the rear side, we have the battery. That's great. So since this machine is super light, let's give you an indication of the total weight with the battery installed, everything here. So the total weight is about, look at that, 48.7 grams. Is super light, so we can expect something very powerful. So even I would say 3-4 grams more lighter than the brushed model I reviewed some time ago, the QX90C Pro, which was a super great flyer. This one is even more lighter with a brushless motor, so we can expect super great performances. We have some basic carbon element, okay, and look the thickness of the arm. You can see that it's flexible. So the main question, how will it be durable? And the thickness is about 1.25 millimeters, okay, 1.33, 1.25 millimeters thickness for the main arm. How will be durable this arm versus time? That's an open question, especially if you fall over super hard concrete surfaces, for example. I'm afraid it will break literally. So we will need to change all the main lower frame. Why they don't, for example, use more 2 millimeters, of course, maybe added 2 or 3 grams more, but will be much more durable. Okay, so you attach the 500 LiPo through this ribbon cable. 2 lateral hooks are present, and that's good. No specific light, okay, but you can see here the battery is super strong, so no problem, and you have by default a configuration to activate the battery. We can check, for example, the OSD information display. Okay, and you will see that we have surprising the horizon lines more. It's not really adapted for FPV racing. Okay, the 2 flight time from the battery connection and the arming one, and you can see that the layout is not optimized in my point of view, so we cannot really guess the battery voltage, and we don't have the throttle position, the crossbar, for example, more useful for FPV. So the light rendition is basic. Maybe yes, the light adaptation is standard, not impressive. So we'll see in a very dark shadowed zone how it's handled and in this type of area. So now it's time to check the Betaflight configuration. Okay, but before, I want to show you how to bind this machine. If you are a new baby, it's super obvious. I will use a power bank, okay, a micro USB to USB cable, okay, and it's more easy than the battery directly. So let's bind it with, for example, the jumper in a G8 mode, okay, and let's go. Okay, I prepare a model file with the FearSky, the default G8 FearSky protocol Innovation TX, and I'm ready to press bind by the ENT button. So I plug the micro USB and I will use this power bank. Okay, it's much more easy. Why keep it press the bind button? So with this hand, for example, okay, I will gently start to pre-insert the USB, then I will press the bind button here, okay, here, and click. Then I will press the ENT button here, and if everything is okay, you will see the light, the green light of the receiver will disappear on the slide. So the receiver light is here, okay, and after a couple of seconds it will flash. So what to do now? You have to power off everything, the quadcopter and the radio. Replug first, for example, the quadcopter. The receiver light will flash, as you can see, and as soon as I will turn on the quadcopter, the light will become solid, as you can see. So now it's bound, and unfortunately, as I said previously, no telemetry. Okay, let's check the telemetry monitor. Nothing appears here, so nothing is sent for RSSI as well for the OSD or the telemetry. It's time to check the Betaflight configuration. Okay, and let's go. Okay, so let's check the default Betafly configuration for this SPCMaker 95EP. So let's press connection. Sorry to have all the menu in French, but whatever is quite obvious. So let's check the port. And wow, first surprising stuff. Since we have an F3 board, let's check that. But we have an F3 board, and most of the time, I would say 99% of the case, the S-Bus receiver is connected on UART 3. So I strongly advise to dump here. Okay, you can use this button here to dump whatever, but I will do in the old school way to copy, okay, all the elements and paste it into an empty text file. I already did it, and when you will need to restore, just copy from this file and throw all the command line into the CLI, and don't forget to press the save command. Whatever, let's return to this first surprising element. Okay, let's press connection. Okay, and here we have the port for the serial on the UART one. It's really strange, and I already tested, and is not working out of the box for the receiver. And the trick is, of course, to set the serial on the UART 3. It's very important. If out of the box your machine doesn't work, at least it's binding, but no answers from your any sticks. It's due to this fault from SPCMaker. Badly configuration of the UART, serial UART. It's the third one. Okay, you need to press and save, and let's continue. Okay, so we will see the configuration. We have a classic quad X, no problem. D-Shot 600 is turned on by default, that's great. 8 kilo, 2 kilos, it's correct, and the CPU load is about 16%. It's not bad, no specific board alignment. Okay, and here, as you can see now, the default configuration of the receiver is correct, a serial one, and more particularly in S-Bus connection. What we have the black box turned on. We can disable it, the SD card as well, okay, is useless. And we are monitoring the VBAT with these values, so typically for LiPo LEHV. We will save that, okay, and we return to the connection. And we go now to the PID settings. So we have the default settings from the Betafly 3.1.7 is absolutely not the last one, and is strongly advised to update. And now we are in the branch 3.3, and it's highly configured. Recommended. So I will increase a little bit the values to my favorite settings. Okay, so something about close to 800 degrees per second for the pitch and roll. Okay, it's correct, and maybe we can push like this. Okay, was correct. And for the more linear answers, so something about 33, 600 degrees is okay. The level strength is set to the default to 50 for both angle and horizon. What we have there, we have the default value for the PIDs. We can say that. And now it's time to go to the receiver section. So I will turn on the radio. Good news from the USB, the sticks and the receiver is correctly done. So you will have to first check that all your sticks are centered into the 1500 values. If not, you will have to play with your mixer, okay, on your favorite radio to center everything. Okay, for me it's not really the case, so I will decrease or a little bit increase the bias to center everything. I will do the same for the aileron, etc. But be sure that you will need everything, and you need the sticks between 1000 to 2000. Okay. On aux4, no sign of RSSI, so that's definitively a drawback. What we can see that the deadband of value 2 is applied out of the box is not so bad. Okay, and I can see that I've got the true three-way position available. So I will check now the default flight mode, and we'll check first what is beeping. We have the arm one is an upper position, it's yelling. I will change these settings, okay, because it's absolutely not mine, and we have everything on the same three-way configuration. So I will apply something different. I will first use more the aux2, okay, and okay, so more the aux1, sorry, here, and here it will be more the aux2. I will start to do something like this, and I will press save, okay. And for the second, I will, for the aux1 in the middle position, I will add these values. So it means that when in up position, I'm not armed. In the middle, I will apply the buzzer, and below I will harm the machine. Okay, so now it's time to check with the default aux2 the flight mode. So I will apply more an angle mode, okay, to the aux2, something like this, and then more an horizon in the middle, and then for the acro I will apply more anti-gravity, okay, and the air mode here, okay, for the last choice of the aux2. So I will save, and let's check that. Okay, it's an angle or apply okay, because I am in aux1, so let's do in aux2, sorry, and I should be okay. Okay, great, working fine, as you can see, no problem. So angle, horizon, and acro plus anti-gravity mode, and the arm one, beeper, and arming. Okay, so it's done. Let's check now the OSD information, and by default I said it was in pale, sorry, it was in NTSC, so I will fix that, and you can see that the craft date is almost invisible because in that set. So I will apply more in different settings of the position of everything. I will disable the craft name, I will disable the on time. Okay, I will optimize a little bit the layout. Okay, if I can, and I will remove the artificial horizon sidebar. I will apply more of the crosshair and the throttle position. Okay, I will apply more in the middle like this or here, and I should be ready to go. So no RSSI available, okay, and I will apply also metrics here, and also to set to something 5 minutes, and the capacity is about 500. Okay, I will save, and also use more brighter font, which is our clarity. I really like this font style, and it's more wider, more visible on your FPV mask or goggles. So for all eyes like me is not so bad. It takes a couple of seconds to load the font into the board. If you have an error after that, for example, an auto rebooting is logical because we have an old Betaflight version, so sometimes it's doing that, but don't worry, the font are correctly loaded into the board. So we did a tour, so be sure one more time to have the UART3 serial turned on and not the UART1 by default, and you will be okay for the receiver section. Now it's time to go in the field to check the performances of this machine. First flight in lost condition with the default configuration, except the rate of the SPCMaker 95 EP. So I will harm the machine, then I'll go there. I will harm right now, and let's check the default value. Oh my god, whatever the value I apply is super slow. I cannot resist. Look, that full forward, I cannot move forward. So I'm moving backwards. There is a huge drift, and the actual value of the rates are so slow in practice. There is something really strange. I will now update the Betaflight operating system to check if it's not a bug with this specific board. Okay, so I will flash a new version of Betaflight because the actual performances are super slow. Whatever I try to have a 1200 degrees per second, it's super slow forward, and versus time drift coming super soon. So I will select the omnibus board, select the last stable of version of Betaflight, currently 3.3.1. I will charge the program, it's already done, and I will press flash. If you have a DFU problem, you will see here something, a kind of pass, meaning that you don't have the correct DFU driver installed. So I will flash. It's my case. So go to the system, okay, and here you should hear STM device in DFU mode. You have to right click and update the driver, okay, and you have to search on it, and you will say on this one and select the STM32 bootloader. If you are in Windows 10, you will need first to install the driver with unsecure system. So when it's done, you can now disconnect the USB, okay, reconnect it, okay, and when you will press flash, you have the DFU and it will flash right now. Sorry for the bother right the flashing procedure, okay, but it's actually the only way to proceed. Okay, now it's done. We can connect. Okay, and we have currently the version installed, so let's check that. Yes, we have the version 3.3.1, it's correct. So we will have to reconfigure everything, okay, reconnect. And of course, the first thing to do is to redo the correct UART serial configuration. So you have to go to the port and turn on the serial 3, okay, then reconnect. It takes a couple of connection disconnection. Then go to the configuration. Quad X, select D-Shot600. Okay, you can leave this value like this. You can disable the parameters. No specific board alignment. Okay, no craft name, or maybe say SPCMaker 95 EP. You can turn on the OSD, that's all, and okay, for the current alarm, nothing special. We can save that. Okay, press connection. And then go to the configuration one more time. I didn't see the receiver section. Okay, sorry, it was here. So you have to select the serial, and more particularly the S-bus. Save one more time. Connect. We can continue now with the configuration. In terms of battery, we can leave this default value. PADs, okay, we can also leave the default value, but also increase the value to 800, something on even 900, okay, and increase a bit here. That sounds correct. And apply here something more to 100. Okay, to have more a linear answer for the YAP. That sounds correct. The anti-gravity gain and so on, TPA and so on. The default level strength is okay. We can, for example, in configuration, turn on also the dynamic filtering. because actually the CPU load is only 80%, and it should accept the dynamic filtering. Okay, like this we can save. It will increase a little bit to 27%. Okay, it's not a huge improvement, huge drawback. Okay, we connect. Go to the mode right now. My my receiver. Okay, let's check that everything is okay on the value 1000. That sounds good. Let's check with the mode. We will arm with the ARM1, aux1. So, and in this value, then we will activate the buzzer more into the okay, beeper more in aux1 in the middle position of my three-way switch. Okay, switch and arm. Okay, sounds good. And the aux2 will be more for the flight mode, angle mode, then horizon, and then I will apply more acro plus anti-gravity. Okay, here I will select aux2, and then air mode should be somewhere below here. Okay, and then in aux2 here we are ready to go. Okay, let's check that. Air mode, that's great. And let's check now the OSD information. So we will turn into NTSC, apply something 500. Okay, display the okay. Okay, main battery voltage. Can apply here the crosshair, then the timer one. Okay, can apply around here this throttle position, and we can also apply the flight mode. Okay, around here. Save. Go to the main load the fonts. And we are soon ready to go. Connection. Return to OSD. Okay, and then we should be okay. So I will apply a small calibration. To be sure, I will install it on the flat surface, calibrate. Then we are ready to go. And with the last beta flight 3.3.1, I keep her more or less the default rate, and let's check that, and let's check in more in angle mode. Turn on. Let's arm the machine. Okay. Now the rates are better. But we can see that the machine is drifting versus time more and more. Wow, you can hear the bearing of the motor is very crowded, but at least the rate problem are solved with this. Yeah, the drift is start to be very important, almost unplayable. Look that. Look that. Wow. I cannot almost not more move forward. Okay, time to land. It's unplayable. Oh, the drift of this machine is horrible. No miracle with such kind of motors. The bearings are so hot, and really it's a nightmare in terms of vibration transmitted to the frame. I'm afraid that this machine can be only flew in pure acro mode. Let's go now in the park to check that fact. Okay, I will conclude about this SPCMaker 95 EP. First of all, out of the box, this machine is first not configured, at least for the PSky receiver, due to an error about the UART port, and secondly, the actual version installed 3.1.7 offers super low rating practice. Whatever the value you increase, it's a bug. Thanks, you will need to flash a new Betafly version to solve this problem. So a lot of work required for this machine out of the box. Second point, you can hear in the last flight the motors are buzzing, are vibrating a lot, and this machine after well maybe 10 seconds already start to drift a lot in 6-axis stabilized flight mode. So definitively an acro flyer only. In acro flight it is not so bad. It is not ultra powerful, but able to perform some basic acro figure, and I think spoiler loop with a minimum of altitude is possible with. So definitively this machine requires a lot of work, is not offering a ton of powers, and I would say the two other negative points are about the battery. This one, as you saw immediately after the takeoff, a huge massive drop of voltage under load is observed. More than 1 volt is completely unacceptable. The 30C of discharge rate is probably fake or false, and I found the camera IO very the light sensitivity is not impressive, and I had some problem to fly under some trees and so on, so I'm not impressed by the light sensitivity quality of this bundle. Generally it's not a super expensive machine. If you tune it in wide open space, etc., is not so bad. So it's not definitively not grabbing any CB award for sure. It's not a complete failure from SPCMaker, but this one deserves a yellow card, not a red one, but just a yellow card. Be aware of SPCMaker, you are not on the right track with your last machine. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this new video. If you like it, please submit, and see you next time. Bye bye.